தண்ணீர் விட்டோவளத்தோம் சர்வேஷ தண்ணீர் விட்டோவளத்தோம் சர்வேஷ இப்பயிரை கண்ணீரால் காத்தோம் கருக திருவுள்ளமோ தண்ணீர் விட்டோவளத்தோம் சர்வேஷ இப்பயிரை கண்ணீரால் காத்தோம் கருக திருவுளமோ எண்ணமெல்லாம் நெய்யாக எம்முயிரினுள் வளர்ந்த வளர்ந்த விளக்கிது மடிய திருவுளமோ ஓராயிர வருடம் ஓய்து கிடந்த பின்னர் வாராது போல வந்த பாமணியை தோற்போமோ தர்மமே வெல்லும் தர்மமே வெல்லும் தர்மமே வெல்லும் எனும் சான்றோர் சொல் பொய்யாமோ.
Hello and welcome back to Raaga Rasika. This is a podcast program that explores the world of Carnatic music. Joining me from Chennai, India is Vidya Subramanian. Over the course of the last few episodes, we have been sharing several snippets of the legendary musician Sri G.N. Balasubramanian. Incidentally, 2010 marks the birth centennial of this great musician, and as Vidya and I have mentioned to you in the past, we'd like to dedicate an episode or two on Sri G.N. Balasubramanian. But first, Vidya, tell us a little bit about him and his early life.
Absolutely, Devesh. Gudalur Narayana Swami Balasubramaniam, who is more popularly known to us by his initials GNB, was born on the 6th of January 1910. His father, Narayana Swami Iyer, was a great connoisseur of Carnatic music. As a result, GNB grew up in a household that was deeply entrenched in the highest quality Carnatic music. And this exposure proved to be invaluable to him in his concert career. He was indeed exposed to some of the best performers of his time, who would often come to his home and perform. His own guru was Madurai Subramania Iyer. GNB also received tremendous guidance and input from his own father, Narayana Swami Iyer. It is said that at a very young age he had an uncanny ability to listen to a song and immediately come up with the swaras of the song that was being sung. This tremendous gift of Sri GNB made his music stand truly a class apart. I also read that the legendary musician of that time, Ariyakudi Ramanujan Iyengar, also heard GNB sing at a very young age and was a great source of encouragement to the young GNB.
In fact, Vidya, I read somewhere that Ariyakudi Ramanujan Iyengar visited GNB's house and predicted that the young GNB at that time would become a very great singer, and many years later, in around early 1951, for the Aradhana celebrations, he sang at these celebrations, and Sri Ariyakudi Ramanujan Iyengar, who was in the audience, approached GNB after the concert, patted him affectionately on the back, and complimented him on his performance and said, "This is what real music is." I'm pretty sure both of them would have reminisced their old times when GNB was a young boy, and of course Ariyakudi Ramanujan Iyengar would have been very proud. So Vidya, I thought that was an interesting side note about the relationship between Sri GNB and Sri Ariyakudi Ramanujan Iyengar that I wanted to share with our audience. let's actually get back to what you were mentioning about his early days, his schooling, his education, and so on.
I was also reading, Devesh, that Sri GNB studied for a little while in the music department of the University of Madras sometime around the year 1930, and I believe the music department at that time was headed by the legendary musician, musicologist and composer Tiger Varadacharya, who was widely acknowledged as a musician who possessed very in-depth knowledge of Carnatic music and its subtleties. And I'm sure that Tiger Varadacharya's music also inspired GNB to bloom into such a widely heralded musician.
So Vidya, speaking of GNB and his concerts, his very first concert itself has a fascinating story behind it. Let's actually share a little bit of the context and details of that story with our audience.
Indeed, the story of GNB's debut is a very interesting one. In the city of Madras, as Chennai used to be known in those days, there is a world famous temple of Lord Shiva called the Mylapore Kapalishwara temple. It's a very ancient temple, and there used to be an annual music festival conducted during the months of May and June. This festival is known as the Vasanta Utsavam, or literally Spring Fest. It was the year 1928 when GNB was all of 18 years old. It so happened that the lead performer, who himself was a very well-known musician, Musiri Subramania Iyer, fell ill, and GNB was convinced by his friends and family and guru to perform on that day. The performance was an unqualified success and a turning point. As one of his close associates, K.S. Muthuraman, recounted of this grand debut of Sri GNB, and I quote here, "Mani's voice engulfed the large temple courtyard. He treated the large audience to vibrant music spanning 3 octaves and kalais effortlessly, and reeling off swaras in lilting cascades. The articulation was perfect, and I can say that this performance was the foundation stone of the musical edifice built by this great musician." End quote.
So Vidya, before we wrap up this episode, let's spend a few minutes talking about the way Sri G.N. Balasubramaniam actually presented himself at a concert performance.
It's very interesting, Devesh. I have read and heard from so many different sources that Sri GNB had a very commanding and special stage presence. He was always impeccably groomed, had amazing manners off and on stage. He was well known for the professional way in which he used to interact with concert organizers as well as his fellow accompanying musicians. Of course, he was also widely known as a very handsome, towering personality, and people used to throng to concert venues to hear him sing and to delight in the magical music that used to fill the concert hall. GNB also had a brief yet fairly successful foray into films, and this no doubt added to his popularity. He was featured as lead actor and also sang a good number of Carnatic music based songs in these films. Now let's come back to his role as a concert musician.
Sure, absolutely. To get a feel of GNB's concert performance, the best way Vidya and I felt we could do justice to it is to play you a snippet of Sri G. N. Balasubramanian. And as you listen to this snippet, transport yourselves to the 1940s and imagine if you were sitting in a packed hall somewhere in South India, listening to Sri G. N. Balasubramanian and his amazing team of accompanying artists, and just immerse yourself in the musical treat that he offered flawlessly, concert after concert after concert, wherever he went. With that, Vidya, tell us a little bit about the snippet we are about to hear just now.
In today's episode, we are going to listen to a snippet from a lighter piece that was very often sung by GNB towards the end of his concert. This piece has been composed in Tamil language and begins with the lyrics, Sonnadai Cheidida Sahasama Kiliye. This piece is very interesting both melodically as well as lyrically, and the theme is the description of different exploits of Lord Krishna. The song itself is a Raaga Malika, or a garland of a number of ragas, and it was composed by Mayuram Vishwanatha Shastri. As you listen to the snippet, notice how effortlessly GNB's voice traverses across the octaves. Notice how intuitively he makes the music flow, and notice how the music is laden with these brigas or musical intricacies which are very complex on the voice, but the way he sings it makes it all seem easy and effortless. As you listen to the piece, yet another aspect to look out for is the speed and the liveliness of the whole presentation. And like Devesh said, if you were to imagine yourself actually being at a live concert, listening to this, you can very well understand how electrifying it will be for the audience.
Thank you, Vidya. I hope you all got a sense of the experience that the listeners of Sri GNB had during those times. But that's all the time we have for now. We'll continue our conversation on Sri G. N. Balasubramaniam in the next episode. To learn more about Vidya, visit her online at vidyasubramanian.com. Write to us at www.raagarasika.com. Also join us on Facebook by searching for Raaga Rasika at facebook.com. Thank you very much. Hope to see you next time. Till then, goodbye.
மேலோர்கள் வெஞ்சிறையோ உவப்பதுவும் நூலோர்கள் செக்கடியில் நோவதுவும் காண்கிலையோ எண்ணற்ற நல்லோர் இதயம் பொழுங்கி இரு கண்ணற்ற போல் கலங்குவதும் காண்கிலையோ மாதரையும் மக்களையும் வன் கண்மையால் பிரிந்து காதலை இளைஞர் கருத்தழிதல் காணாயோ எந்த நீ தந்த இயற்பொருளெல்லாம் இழந்து நோந்தார்க்கு நீ அன்றி நோவழிப்பார் யாருளாரோ எந்த நீ தந்த இயற்பொருளெல்லாம் இழந்து நோந்தார்க்கு நீ அன்றி நோவழிப்பார் யாருளாரோ